Thank you. Okay, so here we are again then, isn't this nice to me, esteemed councillors?
Mr. Mudge, will you address your remarks to the executive, please? You're making a deputation.
Friends in the audience, well, you know what I consider the never-ending saga, the joke that keeps giving. So when I heard plans to use compulsory purchase order to go forwards on Wellbourne, you know, really could this saga take any more bizarre twists and turns? You know, thinking of handling of Wellbourne, it reminded me of the Dad's Army film showing over the road. I believe it's Permission to Panic, Mr. Woodward. Or how about compulsory purchase orders? Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Woodward? You know, let's be serious for a moment. I mean, why are we in this mess? Why has there been more than a year's delay since the hearing? Let's have the landowners really sat on their hands and done nothing for a year? I mean, we've heard some of this tonight about them trying to engage with the council, and the council either being too incompetent or maybe didn't want to do it for another reason. Maybe had their own agenda, and I think it's becoming apparent what that agenda is now, which is compulsory purchase. You know, I mean, it's very strange, but I actually feel sorry for some of the landowners now. I think the problem is the sheer amount of detail that they're dealing with. Detail that was kicked down the road by the council to be dealt with at planning application stage. The plans passed at the hearing were stripped of all of that detail, and that, I believe, is a woeful situation. So now we understand there are legal issues with land ownership. I mean, could you imagine the cost and the complexity of trying to unravel that? I mean, if it went legal, I mean, who would win? Would the council win? You know, I mean, search me. I mean, one thing's for sure, it literally could take years. I mean, what an absolute unholy mess. So what are the real risks of this continuing chaos? Well, I believe because of the 10,000 houses that Mr. Woodward promised his friends in government by the undemocratic push organisation, I think that this chaos means when the likes of Howland go to appeal on Newlands, and they will, that they'll actually stand a very good chance of winning. And I think this delay also risks unconstrained development in Portchester and in our strategic gap areas. You know, I believe if this chaos continues, that the developers will simply show that the current plans are fair and not worth the expensive paper that they're written on. So what should be done? You know, enough of the problems. What about the solution? Well, you know what? We do need a single strategic plan for developing Fairham, one that will protect us from unconstrained development. I'm not arguing with that. I don't think anybody's arguing with that. But that plan needs to fit Fairham's needs, not the needs for the whole of the south of England. And I believe it's not too late, even now, to acknowledge that fact. You know, I like houses so much I choose to live in one, but what Fairham doesn't need is tens of thousands of bad houses just simply landing on it. I mean, what kind of legacy would that be for our children? I mean, Wellbourne is one of the biggest planned housing development schemes in the UK at the moment. You know, I'm not sure how many people actually realise that. I mean, just think of that. Think of the implications of that to, you know, to our town. So where do we go with this? Well, you know, I mean, my mind's even more made up with what I've heard tonight. But I believe that the housing plans for Fairham have been so badly managed that I call tonight for the executive leader to have the decency to resign. That this man has already spent more than £2 million of our money on expensive consultants to deliver nothing. Now he talks about compulsory purchasing land. I mean, a crazy idea. It moves the risk squarely onto us council taxpayers. It could even bankrupt Fairham if it goes wrong. And I don't buy the poppycock that the bill rate can simply be increased in future to cover for this debacle. I notice if we go the CPO route that the first bill dates are 2019. Do you know what? I would actually wager with you people here that if you go the CPO route, you'll not even have Junction 10 funding by 2019. And you know what? I don't actually think for a moment that your leader is actually serious about compulsory purchase. I believe he's threatening landowners, bullying them into playing ball. I'll take your land. I mean, to me, that sounds more like Zimbabwe with Fairham. That's not a partnership. That's not how you get things done. So number one for starters, I believe for the good of Fairham, you should quit tonight. And even if tonight in a future meetings it's decided that you don't need to go the compulsory purchase route, you know, and by the way, I believe that's something that should be for full council, not to be decided in the executive. But even if you manage to salvage this vanity scheme, I believe you've lost all credibility now and you should go. So then I believe that then with a new leader, and I really don't mind who that leader is, we should all sit down together and create a development plan that all groups are happy to stand behind. Do you know what? And that is not actually such an outlandish idea. We actually need a single consolidated plan going forwards anyway. But here's the absolute key thing to me. I believe that plan doesn't have to commit to meeting push housing numbers. It just needs to commit to a plan that's right for Fairham. And I believe that a plan that has the backing of everyone would be literally impossible to turn over at an appeal, no matter the actual housing numbers committed within it. Do you know, I'm not saying that there should be no houses built north of Fairham. I think we have to be realistic. But I believe that it's not too late, even now, for something more manageable, something more realistic, something of the backing of everyone and with a new leader at the helm. So once you've gone, Mr. Woodward, and I believe it's only a matter of time before you're pushed out by your people here, I believe we should pick this up again together and fast, all of us groups together, including the landowners and the community groups and all the interested parties, and create a credible housing plan for Fairham that we can all be proud of a size and scale that actually can be delivered, and that is not this plan. Thank you.